fighters who are hoping to get into the picture near the top of the division. Alexander Povetkin, the third at the bottom, was the Russian gold medalist in the 2004 Summer Olympic Games. Eddie Chambers of the United States had a big win last week over Sam Peter, though he fights in an unexciting style. David Haye, coming out of the cruiserweight division, has talked himself into a battle with Vladimir Klitschko just a little bit later on this year. And then there's Chris Arreola. Larry Merchant, what does he have to do to get from the bottom line to the top line?
Well, pound for pound for pound for pound, he's already the most exciting heavyweight out there. What inquiring boxing minds want to know is, are all those jiggly pounds necessary? Or will he turn out to be like a top baseball pitcher, CC Sabathia, who weighs 300 pounds? Or all those football linemen who look like they're in their 7th month? Big men with big talent who doesn't, and for whom it doesn't matter what their weight is. The weight just goes away once they're in action. So we have an over-the-weight heavyweight fight tonight, Jim.
Indeed, Arreola, though he weighs more than his people wanted him to, is the smaller guy going against Jameel Mccline, who weighs 270 pounds and has been in against some of the toughest fighters in the division, including those whose names you see there. Several years ago, he was easily taken care of by Vladimir Klitschko here in Las Vegas. Tail of the tape now for Arreola and Mccline, and you will see the 10-year age advantage for young Arreola. 28 is very young for the heavyweight division. He's from Riverside, California. A height advantage of 2.5 inches for Jameel Mccline. An arm length advantage measured for the armpit to the end of the fist of 1.5 inches for Mccline. Arreola weighs about 10 pounds more than his people wanted him to weigh at 255. Mccline says he was retired after a November bout with Mike Mullo, was talked into coming back for this paycheck, and weighs 271. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jameel Mccline Chris Arreola fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, let's go to Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Let's get this party started from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing burgundy and officially weighing in at 271 pounds. His professional record, 39 victories, including 23 knockouts, 9 defeats with 3 bouts even. From West Palm Beach, Florida, by way of Harlem, New York, Jameel Big Time Mccline. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, official weight 255 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 26 fights, 26 victories, including 23 knockouts. From Riverside, California, the undefeated NABF heavyweight champion, Cristobal the Nightmare Arreola.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good, anything below is low. Right here is good, anything below is low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
Mccline told us that he's going to fight like the Klitschko's, using his big jab primarily. Arreola says he's got to convince him right from the bell that he made a wrong decision by coming back.
Mccline looks a little soft in there, coming off of what he said had been a retirement following his win over Mike Mullo in November. But then Arreola looks a little soft in there also. Both are pretty big hitters. Mccline knocked Sam Peter down 3 times last year in what ultimately turned out to be a decision loss. Arreola got in trouble against Travis Walker in his last fight, but rescued himself with a big punching dynamic knockout.
All of Jameel Mccline's fights, he always starts off very good, and seems somewhere halfway through the fight he loses his concentration or whatever, and that is what he said he would not do today. But you know, he has a good chin, so it's going to be a very interesting test for Arreola to see if he can knock out Jameel McCline. At this stage, nobody's did that.
It's interesting that Arreola has been going to the body. You can practically bury his glove inside of McCline's jelly belly.
Both guys look a little soft, but I don't think that either one will ever be winning any muscle man contest. It's just the way they're built, and they will always be that way, I think. But at this stage, both fighters are doing exactly what they said they would do. Jameel said he was going to settle down and relax and try to use his left jab, much like he saw Latimer Klitschko do, and not get engaged in too many exchanges. And Arreola said he's going to come out and try to get respect by trying to hurt McCline early in the fight.
Arreola had a pretty good amateur career, Emmanuel, as a light heavyweight. Says that he did not expect to become a heavyweight fighter. Here he is at 255. Is this an entirely different style of fighting, a whole different enterprise than that which he was involved in as a light heavyweight, and what he would have thought he might have done as a professional in weight class type boxing?
Yeah, he was, as an amateur, he was a gangly guy. He was tall at 6'3", fighting at 178 pounds when he was a national champion. But right now his weight is filled out like a lot of guys as they get older, and he seems to be handling it pretty good, even though I think he could be maybe 10 pounds lighter, but he's a big man. He's going to be a big man all of his life.
And he fights with reckless abandon, and he has punching power in both hands. And already there have been a couple of facial expressions from McCline in the first round that suggest that he is interested and maybe surprised by Arreola's punching power.
This is the way American heavyweights are expected to fight.
Let him go.
Working behind the jab, okay? Get that jab, double, triple, working the jab, all right? Keep the head and waist moving just as you are. Good job. Awa. Here. Good round, under control, okay? Good round, under control.
Okay, don't drop your head in front of this guy. Don't bend over in front of him, all right? You give him a chance, man. Keep stepping around, all right? You got a 12-round fight, okay?
Yes, sir.
Keep stepping around. Don't get to banging with this guy.
Here we say Chris Arreola land a right hand, and what was so beautiful about the right hand, Jameel McCline had his hands up and he went between the gloves, landed a picture-perfect right hand. And here we see him coming back later on with another right hand.
Those two landed upstairs. Overall, Arreola was 18 of 31 by CompuBox count in round 1, and you'll note that's over 50%. McCline was 7 of 37. 8 of Arreola's 18 connects were body shots.
Stop.
Sending the gloves into that jelly belly region in the middle of McCline. Larry, you finished the last round by saying this is the way American heavyweights are expected to fight. Elaborate.
Well, all the top American heavyweights, the ones the public has taken to, are guys who have some ability to capture your attention. You know, aside from Ali, almost all of them were aggressive fighters who could take a punch and are willing to go out there and do this, right what Arreola is doing now.
Well, you know, really glad we're saying that about the America, but really think about it. Further, it's none of the heavyweights too much out here for the most part are coming out aggressive. Most of the guys that our top fighters are really technical, laid-back fighters outside of probably Vitaly Klitschko, who's an aggressive guy. So it's just refreshing to see any heavyweights that come out and try to be aggressive and be intense and throw power punches.
Well, the European heavyweights, you know, are guys who stand up, have good jabs, they're good fighters, but they don't do this kind of thing.
No. Mccline's cornerman, Stacey McKinney, told him to keep it in a boxing zone, to not bend in too much, not to bend down, to utilize his height, but he can't do that. Arreola is crowding him.
Arreola continues to land his right hand with regularity. He's landed several right crosses in the first 2 rounds. You saw him slip in a good right hand uppercut there moments ago.
He's not a power punching heavyweight. He's a combination punching heavyweight, which is rare these days. Good, strong puncher, not a power puncher who's likely to take you out with one big shot early in a fight.
Let him up. Stop.
Nobody might take you out with 3 or 4 big shots early in a fight.
Yeah,
Exactly. None of his last 6 fights over 2 years have gone past 3 rounds.
There's a lot of power punches thrown this fight so far, just for 2 rounds for a heavyweight fight.
He's already got Mccline in a defensive mode.
Exactly.
More interested in self-preservation right this moment.
Exactly. He has already succeeded in making Mccline look as though he's here to last as long as he can. Tuesday, Real Sports profiles Phillies manager and World Series winner Charlie Manuel. Manuel has overcome great odds and personal challenges to reach the top of his profession.
You gotta watch your holding. Yes. Okay. You wait when I tell you to break.
You got it. Use the jab, Jameel. Put your shot straight down the center, okay?
There you go. Don't be careless, though. Keep moving the head and waist. Good job.
Come on.
Right. Good job. Okay.
Big towel.
You ain't got nothing else trying to jab. You're trying to walk you with the right hand. So good job, okay?
Here we see Arreola land another right hand. And all of those punches he's landing are very short. He's getting very close. He's not throwing any punches from long distance where he can get out of position. And he's crowding Jameel, and Jameel doesn't have time to protect himself because he's getting very close before he punches.
CompuBox numbers in the second round. Arreola 20 out of 50. Mccline only 5 out of 33. Arreola with 7 more good body shots in that round to go with the 8 in round 1. So 15 times already he's pounded his gloves into Mccline's midsection, trying to take some of the fight out of the bigger man.
Let him go.
Mccline has not been able to establish that solid, dominating, powerful jab that he had planned and his corner wants him to do. His jabs are there, but they're not that type of a strong jab and where he can maintain distance. Yeah, Arreola is walking right through him and getting close, then he punches.
Keep in mind that Arreola knocked Sam Peter down 3 times.
Mccline knocked
Peter
Sam down 3 times.
Thank you for the correction, Jim.
You're welcome.
And he's hurt some top guys. He's never beaten the top guys, but he's competed with them.
But he's knocked down a lot of the guys that he fought with. I mean, Shannon Briggs. But what Jameel does, he's a very big guy, but he's very hyper, I call him. He punches, he kind of runs at you so when he punches. So early in the fight, he has a lot of knockdowns where the guys got up and really, most of them out recuperated right away because he does punch with a lot of power as much as he pushes his weight.
He lands a right hand there. Momentarily stopped Arreola's assault.
Come on, here we go.
But good connects like that have been few and far between for Mccline. While Arreola has been landing with
let him go, Jameel, let him go.
thudding regularity.
Let him go.
And he's made Mccline already revert to how he used to fight. He's really not able to make the modification that he talked about to fight like the Klitschkos from a distance.
Good left uppercut by Arreola. Mccline caught Arreola with a left hook. Arreola momentarily wobbled by that left hand shot off the gloves of Mccline.
And Mccline now is fighting now. He doesn't have the ability out of legs to create a distance of space. So all he can do right now is to try to punch himself, and that's what he's trying to do.
Another good quick left hook inside by McCline.
And that's when you have to watch him. That's where he gets those knockdowns, because he pushes forward and pushes his weight into you, and you can get knocked down very easy, just like he did there. Again.
This has been the most active round so far for Jameel Mccline. Maybe he's shaking off a little rust here.
But the fight looks like it's moving in a direction where it would favor Arreola, because Arreola is fighting more at the distance and the space that he would like to fight at than McCline.
Good uppercut with the left hand by Arreola. He's had 2 of them in this round. Mccline trying to land another left, and he does. Blocks Arreola with 2 left hooks in the last several seconds of the round, and that got the crowd excited.
Hey. He's trying to let you get off and then catch you unexpectedly, okay? Keep the hands coming back, chin tucked, right? Keep doing as you're doing. Listen to me. As you come forward, I need a little more head and waist movement, more head and waist movement. Working in behind the jab, you're just walking to him, okay? Working behind the jab.
All right, here's a graphic that shows us that when he fought Chaz Witherspoon less than a year ago, Arreola weighed 239. This is the 3rd straight fight. He's well into the 250s. He says he tried to take up some weightlifting. Must have been some heavy donuts.
Talk to me. Good? Go. Great. Good work.
Well, McCline found the
Keep
punch
little by little.
to get into Arreola, that short, big left hook. Can Arreola defend against it? Can McCline keep landing it?
And let's see if McCline landed enough of those left hooks to win a round. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
I gave him the round. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28. Chris Arreola. Jim, I got to tell you, Jameel Mccline finally figured him out. Landed some awful nice left hooks in that 3rd round. You know, you can't count out a big guy that can punch. Interestingly enough, Jameel Mccline wears that small size Ray Ace glove. They don't make an extra large glove. I think he gets more power with that small size glove. Be as it may, Chris Arreola walks right in. Did real well in the first 2 rounds with them right hands and the body shots. But in round 3, Jameel Mccline did tag him. Very interesting fight. 2-1 Arreola.
Power punches through 3. According to CompuBox count, Arreola has quadrupled McCline, landing 49 power shots to only 12 for Jameel. But you score it round by round. And the 3rd round was different from the first 2. Now in the first minute of the 4th round, Arreola seems to have settled back into his groove.
Okay, stop punching. Let him go. Let him go.
McCline has told us he's in 2 businesses. The way this fight is going, he may be able to give full time to those businesses after tonight. But it's a heavyweight fight, and stuff happens.
Klein says that when Don King first called him with an offer for the fight, he turned him down and said, "I'm retired." And it looks like maybe he's headed toward retirement again.
This is something that you seldom see as McCline going down.
How much does he want it? Does he want to keep going? No, he does not.
We very have seldom seen him go down.
Period.
Arreola came to show us that he can be the big-time guy, that he can fight the big guys like the Klitschko's, and he succeeded in what his goal was.
Emmanuel, you trained Vladimir Klitschko. Would you fear Chris Arreola?
Well, I tell you what, I was so impressed with Chris tonight. He came out, he fought like a very good, exciting heavyweight should fight, and he was the type of guy that would bring Klitschko to the test where he would have to fight. He could not merely hold him off with the jab. And this is what's good to see young, aggressive heavyweights just showing up now. That means that Vladimir's going to have to fight.
Here's a look at the knockout, and one of the most impressive elements of what Arreola did is that once McCline found a tactic that gained some purchase for him in the 3rd round, Arreola came out and dominated the 4th round, landing 16 power shots to only 1 for McCline en route to this knockout.
But you know, it was such a beautiful variety of punches. He shot punches from underneath, over top, from the side. He did everything in the book perfect. But the main thing you could see in his eyes from the beginning, he was determined that he would not be denied tonight.
There is a perception in the sport, Emmanuel, that Vladimir Klitschko does not like all-out aggression, and that a fighter like Arreola, regardless of any style deficiency or even conditioning deficiency, might make Vladimir psychologically uncomfortable.
He would make Vladimir have to fight. Vladimir could not get away with just holding a jab to hold him off. And this is what I'm excited about, to see young fighters like this. Most of the guys Vladimir's fought recently have been veteran, defensive, survival type guys. That would not be the case fighting Arreola.
The center of the story is that Chris Arreola is trying to become the first fighter ever of Mexican or Mexican-American descent to win a heavyweight championship, and if he does, he will be a massive attraction in the sport. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, referee Tony Weeks reaches the 10 count. The end comes at 2:01, round 4. The winner by knockout victory, still undefeated and still the NABF heavyweight champion, Cristobal the Nightmare Arreola.
With the victory, Arreola extends his record to 27-0-0 with 24 KOs. Final CompuBox numbers, he tripled Mccline in terms of landed punches. He landed 49% of the punches that he threw. It was an offensively dominant performance for Chris Arreola. Power shots, the real story of the fight, because Arreola basically dispensed with his jab. He landed 65 of 104. 63% connect percentage. In other words, Mccline, after the retirement and coming back, was an easy target for Chris Arreola. And the young man from Riverside now stands by with Larry Merchant.
Thank you very, very much, Jim. Congratulations, Chris, or do you want to be known as Cristobal?
Yeah, Cristobal Arreola. Can't believe I'm here with Larry Merchant. Woo! Larry Merchant. Woo!
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here with you. Give us your take on this fight, what it meant to you, and what you think you achieved.
First of all, I want to thank Jameel for coming in this ready to fight, man. He's a tough man. Took good punches and he gave good punches. But I'm just fighting to try to be the best heavyweight fighter in the world. I don't know what everybody else in here thinks yet, but I'm ready to fight whoever they want me to fight. And like I said before, I want to be considered the best so I can fight the best. It means the Klitschko brothers, if they think I'm not ready for them, then here goes another fight.
You said to us before the fight that you had to prove yourself, prove your worth. Do you think you proved that you're worthy of that challenge tonight?
Honestly, what do you think? I want to ask you, what do you think? Am I worthy?
I've thought that for a few fights before, but I want to know because you didn't seem to have convinced yourself.
Well, first of all, I want to convince you. I want to convince the fans. I've always been convinced that I could fight the best, but I have to beat the best so I could fight the best, and I feel like I beat the best tonight.
Did he hurt you with some of those left hooks?
To be honest, no. I came in here ready. I had some big sparring partners myself. They call them sparring partners, but they're my friends. Like Cesar Salif, Big Rod, and Lance Whitaker. They came in there and worked my ass off. To tell you the truth, I've been buzzed more in the ring and the sparring.
Do you need to fight a bigger challenge next if it's not a Klitschko, or do you want to go to a Klitschko quickly?
Whatever my promoter, Dan Goosen and Al Heyman say, I don't care, man. Like Sugar Free says, you got to stay ready, so you got to get ready.
Thank you. Congratulations on an outstanding fight.
Otra cosa, le quiero decir a toda la gente que vino de aquí, todos mexicanos, la gente latina, muchas gracias. Aquí está otro, como digo, vamos a traer varios más. And another thing, I want to thank Ernie for making my shorts a short notice. And, everybody out there at Yard House, we're going to go party. And one more person, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Chris.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, big guy. Good fight, man. Go ahead, man. See you at the top, baby.
Thank you.
All right, Jameel, you've been in with a lot of the top heavyweights of the last decade. You're not at the peak of yourself. What did you think of this young
Well,
lion.
listen, I mean, he beat me. You know, that's the bottom line. He beat me. He's a young, strong kid. And listen, you know, I should have. I didn't have a lot of time. I got called in on 6 weeks' notice, but that's no excuse. You know, the kid came in there and did what he's supposed to do, and we'll see him. We'll see what he does next.
Do you think he has the ability to beat the best guys out there, including the Klitschkos?
Chris is a very good fighter. I'll see him fighting for a title very soon.
You're not committing that.
I'm sorry?
You're not committing. You're not